Hello, I'm Reverend Dr. Jeffrey Goodine, pastor of Church on Wheels Spoken Word out of Deltona, Florida. This is another edition of Morning Prayer 2024, Seed Sowing. Seed Sowing. This morning I want to talk to you about prayer and what's going on in my church and what we're doing in my church and our organization. We're doing a prayer initiative. The prayer initiative is 24/7, 365. We are doing, and what you have to do, and I want you to come with me and be a part of this. We're already signing people up. It doesn't cost you anything but time. 30 minutes of your time. What we're doing is you pick 30 minutes one day a week. One day a week. 30 minutes. Pick a time slot. And you pray for that 30 minutes. That's your 30 minutes. Now, you can get added to the list, and we'll send you a prayer list along with the prayer guidance. If you say, well, what do I pray for? Pray for Pastor Goodine and his church family and his family. That if you don't know what to pray for, and I know you do, but if you don't know what to pray for Pastor Goodine, his family, and his church family. Pray that good things continue to happen with it. Pray that God continues to bless us if you don't have anything to pray for. If you feel you don't have anything to pray for. And don't forget to pray for yourself now. Don't forget to do that. Pray for yourself. So if you don't know anything to pray for, you say, well, what do I have to pray for? Well, you woke up this morning. Think about it. There's a lot for you to pray for. But if you want a guide, if you want something to pray for Pastor Goodine, his family, and his church family. Pray for me, Pastor Goodine. And pray for yourself. Start there. Well, what we're doing is we're looking for 360-something people. 367, somewhere around there, to fill every time slot, every 30-minute time slot, 7 days, from 12 a.m. midnight to 11:59 p.m. midnight, at night. 24 hours. And you pick a 30-minute slot. And that slot could be any slot. Right now, the 6 to 10 o'clock in the morning time slots are kind of filling up. There's a few gaps in between there. But I'd say from, 11 o'clock in the morning to 9 at night, those gaps are there's a lot of spaces in there. There's a lot of space for Saturday mornings and Sunday morning. I mean, we got people that are praying 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. They're at work, so they'll take a 30-minute, during that 30-minute break or whatever, and do a prayer. So what we're saying is, take 30 minutes, pick one day, 30 minutes, whatever that 30-minute time slot is, and you pray. We're trying to cover for a year. Let's do it for a year. That means that you would have to do this 52 times, okay? One day a week, 30 minutes per day in prayer. It's our prayer initiative. And we're doing this in our church, and we're doing this in our organization. And I want to invite you. Now, look, you don't have to be a part of my church. I would love for you to do, but you don't have to be a part of my church. I just want you to go into prayer initiative. In fact, you can take this to your church. Take this to your church and start a prayer initiative. And, these are the time slots, 30 minutes. It doesn't matter what 30 minutes. And then you can sign up. Now, if you send me an email at pastorjeffreygoodine@gmail.com, that's pastorjeffreygoodine@gmail.com, I will sign you to the official list, and you will get a prayer guide. You get some prayer scriptures, and you will get a prayer list, of people you can pray for. Add to the list. You can also add people to the list that you would recommend that everybody pray for them. But I want to start with the prayer initiative. What I want to start with is pick 30 minutes. You don't even have to send me an email. Just pick 30 minutes. One day a week and pray. That's our prayer initiative. One day a week for 30 minutes. Now, in that 30-minute time slot, so people ask, well, do I have to pray for the full 30 minutes? Well, you may not start out, when you start out, you may only do 3-4 minutes prayer, 5 minutes prayer. But the more you do it, the longer your prayer gets. And before you know it, you will find yourself praying 30, 35 minutes, 40 minutes before you know it. But you may not start out that way. And I don't want you to start out saying, well, I need to pray for 30 minutes. No, that's your 30-minute time slot. And you got 30 minutes in there to do a prayer. That's how I want you to look at it. You say, well, I don't know what to pray for. Pray for yourself. Pray for me. Pray for Pastor Goodine, his family, his church family. Pray that God continues to bless us if you want to pray. You start out and you pray, you got a 30-minute slot. Now, in those 30 minutes, your prayer can be as long as you want, 30 minutes. That's your time slot. Now, if you send me an email and you give me a time slot you want to join the official list, you want to be a part of the official, prayer initiative, then when you send me your email, pastorjeffreygoodine@gmail.com, that's pastorjeffreygoodine@gmail.com, or you can message me on Facebook, or you can message me privately on Facebook, send me your email, and I'll contact you. Tell me what your time is. Now, if the time that you want, and somebody else already has that time, I'm going to try to get you as close to that time as you can. You may have to switch a day or so, but it doesn't matter. If you are dead set on praying at that time, and somebody else has already had that slot filled, because our slots are filling up. We only got slots for 300 and some people. So slots are filling up fast. We're talking morning slots, night and evening slots. If you're dead set on a time, and someone's already got that time, I will try to move you to another time. If you are dead set on that time, then pray. Then just pray. I won't add you to the list. I won't overwrite somebody that's already got that time slot. Just pick a time. So, if you're dead set on 12 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday, and somebody else already got that time, it's filled in on the slot, then I'm going to try to move you to somewhere, another time, give you another time. But if you're dead set on 12 o'clock on Wednesday and somebody else already got that slot to sign up for that, just pray anyway. Just pray anyway. I'll add you into a slot to make sure that you get counted in that time, in the 300 and in the 360. I didn't do the math yet, but in the 366 or 367, however it is, it's over 300. I'll put you in another time slot, and then you can pray at 12 o'clock on Wednesday, if you want to. But I'll add you in as a list somewhere in there, so I can add you to the list so that you could get all of get the prayer guide, you can get the prayer scriptures, you can get the official prayer list, and then you can add people to the list that you know that you want people to pray for. So that's the prayer initiative. So send me an email. You that Pastor Jeffrey Goodine at gmail.com, Pastor Jeffrey Goodine at gmail.com, or you can, when you leave your comments. And some of you been leaving comments. Thank you very much for tuning in. You leave your comments. I know you don't want your email in that comment. Go over to send me a message. You can instant message me in Facebook. Send me a message, and I'll contact you, and then we can put you on the list. But that's our prayer initiative. We at our church, and we're signing people up. We only got room for 300 and some people. So please send me a thing and we can sign you up. And if there's a time that's only available and you say, well, I can't do it at that time, then what I'll do is I'll add you into that time, and then you pray when you can. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. One time a week. Now, you can do more times. You can do more times. But your official time would be your 30-minute slot. And that 30 minutes, in those 30 minutes, you got 30 minutes to do a prayer. Your prayer may not start out to be 30 minutes, but you start out with a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute prayer. Just start out with, Lord, have mercy on my soul. Start out. But as you do this more and more, your prayers become more and more and become longer and longer. And before you know it, you'll be praying for 30 minutes. So you may not start out with 30 minutes, but eventually before the year is up, I guarantee you'll be praying longer than 30 minutes. But I want you to be a part of this prayer initiative. For those of you that are tuning in, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your comments. And I'm talking to you. For those of you that are seeing this for the first time, I want you to join our prayer initiative. You already at a church somewhere. Hey, start the prayer initiative at your church. Start a prayer initiative at your church. Get people at your church. Tell them sign up for 30 minutes somewhere during the day and do a prayer. Just sign up. Just sign up. We don't have to make this complicated. This is very, very simple. Just 30 minutes, one day a week. 30 minutes. Whatever the time slot is. One day a week, prayer. And your prayer in those 30 minutes. This is a 30-minute time slot here, 30 minutes. In your 30-minute time slot, you may not start out with a 30-minute prayer. Your prayer may only be, Lord have mercy on my soul, whatever. But just pray, just do it consistently. Do prayer consistently. And I guarantee you, by the end of the year, your prayer, you will be praying longer than 30 minutes. I can guarantee you that. But you got to start somewhere. So let's start. So I'm asking you today to come join with me. Come go with me on this prayer initiative for a year. Send me an email, PastorJeffreyGoodine@gmail.com. I add you to the official list. There's only room for 300 and some people. So I want you to be a part of the official list. Now, once the list is filled and I get your email, I want you to pray. I'm going to assign you a time. The slots are filled, and I'm going to tell you the slots are filled, but I want you to pray on this day at this time. You say, well, I can't do it at that time. Well, then, whenever you can do it, you do it. Whenever you can do it, you do it. But we're doing the prayer initiative. The prayer initiative. 30 minutes. You pick a 30-minute time slot. Doesn't matter when it is. You got 24 hours. You got 7 days. Just pick a 30-minute time slot. And that 30-minute time slot, you have to commit yourself to praying in that 30-minute time slot. In that 30-minute time slot, when you begin your prayer, it may not be full 30 minutes, but that's your time slot. You got 30 minutes to do a prayer. And if you say, well, what do I pray for? Pray for yourself. You say, well, I done prayed. Well, then I tell you what. If you don't know what else to pray for, pray for me. Pray for Pastor Goodine, his family, and his church family. Pray that God will continue to bless us. Pray that God will continue to keep his finger of love upon us, or wrap us in his wing of care. If that's what you want to pray, I would appreciate it. But I know you can find something to pray for. Look for it. Yes, you can. And I said before, it may not be 30 minutes at the beginning, but don't let that change. You got a 30-minute time slot. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. That's your time slot. And let's do the prayer initiative. Let's do the prayer initiative. Send me an email and I'll add you to the list. And you can get your time slot. Doesn't cost you anything but 30 minutes of your time. 1 day a week. 30 minutes of your time, 1 day a week. This is a prayer initiative. Let's cover in prayer. Do you know how powerful that could be? He said when 2 or more gather. Do you know how powerful that'll be when we can get over 300 people to pray? 300 people committed to prayer 1 day a week for 30 minutes. Do you know how powerful that could be? And I want you to be a part of that. So come and be a part of the prayer initiative with my church, with our organization. Come and be a part of that. Well, I thank you. I'm Reverend Dr. Jeffrey Goodine, pastor of Church and Will Spoken Word out of Deltona, Florida. And this has been another edition of Morning Prayer 2024. Seed sowing. Seed sowing. May God have mercy on our souls.